I'm Mario. This is Franco. We're outside of Jackson's Restaurant in Comac, New York. We got Chef Harry Poole in the kitchen doing his thing. The oven's preheated, and we're ready to sit down with UFC lightweight Matt, the Steamroller, Frevola.
You're listening to the Oven Podcast. Your table is ready. You can follow me.
Matty, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm hungry. I'm ready to eat.
Me too.
You and me both. So, how'd you end up in the UFC? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, it was a long story, but started as a wrestler. I was just a wrestler, and I got a twin brother. I got my dad over there, always keeping us, competing growing up. So I was always a competitor, competing with my brother growing up. And then I started wrestling, and I was pretty good at wrestling. I was never like a state champ or anything, but I was like a good wrestler. And I played other sports, football, lacrosse. And once I realized I wasn't making it to the NFL or being a pro lacrosse player or anything, I missed wrestling really. I found Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I went over to Matt Serra's and started training with Long Island legend Matt Serra, learning Jiu Jitsu.
Oh yeah.
And competing in Jiu Jitsu, which is pretty much submission wrestling. I'm trying to take people down and choke them and armbar them and whatnot. And I always, I was always a tough kid, getting into fights. So I think I was born a fighter,
Couple beatings at the playground.
Yeah, I was always like the tough guy wrestler. And then how I actually started doing jiu-jitsu, I was in college, and I was like, there was this skinny kid, and he was a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and we were fucking around in the. We could curse on this, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, yeah. So we were messing around in the dorm rooms, and I'm like, look at this guy, and then I just shoot in a double leg takedown, and I take him down, and then he puts me in a guillotine choke, and he puts me to sleep with it. And I remember waking up and looking and being like, what did you just do to me? And then I went to, and this guy was small. I had like 40 pounds on him, and I went to jiu-jitsu with him the next day. And, the rest is kind of history.
Well, listen, man, I gotta thank you for, coming in, taking time out of your day, taking time out of your schedule. Fresh off a 2-fight win streak, 4 of your last 6. That 2-fight win streak, man, 2 undefeated opponents at the time, 2 first-round finishes. I mean, what a fucking 2022, huh?
Yeah, man, it's been definitely a good year. We got 2 big wins, and
Yep.
we're keeping this rolling into this year. So I'm pumped.
That's
Yeah.
it. Speaking of rolling, man, I'm sure you get this all the time, bro. But where does the nickname Steamroller come from?
Steamroller. That's my dad over there. My dad and my uncle Dolzy. I think it was after my 3rd amateur fight, and I was literally just going in there and steamrolling people.
Literally.
Like my whole game plan from when I started was, all right, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna throw 4 straight punches, and back them up to the cage. Go for a double leg, take him down, slam him on the ground, and then choke him out. And that's kind of what I did like my entire amateur career until I developed my other skills, and now we're knocking people out,
That's
still
it.
choking people out.
That's it.
You can do it all.
I mean, dude, obviously it's a great nickname. We were actually lucky enough to be at 281, and we went to the Dirty Harry's. We did the brunch with your family beforehand, and
The team rollers.
Yeah, the team rollers. So
Tommy's been to a couple of them now. We always have a good time.
Dude, when we were sitting at the bar, Tommy actually was the first one to do like the steamroller, and the whole bar, man, erupted. I'm sitting like, I'm about to have a fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, especially now, then we go to MSG. I mean, you hear the chant in the bar, but then, after the big win, during the Joe Rogan interview, the whole place is doing the steamroller after you did it, man. I mean, how awesome is that? Take me through that. Take me through like the MSG trip.
Man,
in your home backyard.
It was unreal, just having the whole crowd do the steamroller chant, because that was my second fight at MSG. Yep. I had my second UFC fight was at MSG, and it was 2017.
Okay.
And it was a crazy fight. I was and it ended up being a draw.
Was that Lando Venata?
Yeah, it was Lando. And so, you know, I was happy about that fight, you know, just because it was such a great fight. But, you know, MSG, you know, I'm a Long Island guy. That's, you know, I want to go in there and, like, really, like, you know, bring the roof down, you know. So this time at MSG, I was like, all right, you know, we're not leaving it to the judges. I got to go in there and I want to make a statement, you know, in front of my home state, you know, New York City, Long Island. Everyone's out there, and you know, I was able to do that. I got in there, went there, and got the first round knockout, and you know, we had the garden bumping.
Bumping, man.
Electric.
You know, when we were watching, you know, we were your family in the stands watching, you know, and you came out the Timmy trumpets like we talked about before.
Yeah.
Had the whole place going, man. And
That's the only beef I have with you. You're a Mets fan.
It's a big beef, though.
Yeah, well, you know, Mets are coming this year, you know.
It's all, dude.
They say that every year.
Come on.
Nah, they made
we got the Coens now, and the Coens know how to treat their athletes. You know, Uncle Stevie's gonna go out there and get another bat for us, and we're coming.
How'd you feel about that Correa thing? The whole Correa thing?
You know, I liked that we were at least in it. You know, because in the past you're always just like, you know, Wilpons aren't gonna do anything, but you know, Cohen went after it, and you know, it was kind of weird. We're probably gonna find something out about that physical down the line that we dodged the bullet. So
Definitely, probably a smart move at the end.
yeah.
No, back to 281 though. You know, at the end of the fight, you know, Joe Rogan interviewing you, and you know, you call out Patty the Baddie. You know, but now I'm looking today, and I'm seeing, you know, in April we're looking at a legendary fight against Clay Guida, huh?
Yeah, man, we'll see. You know, I definitely want to fight Patty, but
Yep.
I guess they're saying he's hurt and whatnot. So, you know, I got to fight.
Yeah,
you know,
gotta fight.
I'm trying to get 3 fights this year. So.
Hell yeah.
And the rumor is that they're going to the Barclays Center April 8th.
Okay.
So, you know, we already took down the Garden. Let's do it at the Barclays Center.
I'm with that.
Yeah, let's go out to Brooklyn.
So obviously, like you said, in the perfect world, you know, the fight against Patty would happen in London, Barclays, wherever it may happen. But listen, man, I watch UFC. I don't obviously know like you guys do, but watching Patty's last fight, you guys are all professionals. Obviously, to make it to that level, you have to be a killer, dude. Like regardless, but I see that fight going really bad for him, man. He's been touched before, but I feel like he hasn't been touched by a guy that you know that does in your caliber. So
yeah, you know, if he has his chin out like that when he fights me, it's gonna be, you know, I'm gonna hit him and he's gonna go down. But you know, he's good. He's good everywhere. You know, he throws some kicks, he throws some stuff standing up, and he's but his biggest threat is his jiu-jitsu, his submissions. He kind of does like he gets these like weird scrambles and he'll like catch your arm or catch your neck. I think that's where he's the strongest. But you know, I'm a grappler too, so
yeah, yep.
It'll be fun.
What kind of what style would you consider yourself?
Man, you know, I think it was my UFC debut. The UFC, they didn't even tell me this. Like, they had Bruce Buffer, when they announce you, they always announce like what style fighter you are. They're like, this guy's a mixed martial artist, this guy's a jiu-jitsu fighter. They announced me as a brawler. They said, this guy is or Matt the Steel, or he's a brawler. Like, they announced me as a brawler. He's standing 5'9", wearing this man is a brawler. And I was like, I remember hearing that and being like, what? Who like told them to say that? But
not a bad style to be
That's
labeled.
awesome.
yeah, but I mean, and then I made them change it to technical brawler. So you know, yeah, you know, I'll brawl,
Technical
but
brawler.
you know, I've been doing this for 10 years. I like to think I got a little technique, just a little bit, you know.
And now the left's coming around too, huh?
Yeah, man, we're getting this left. You know, I broke my right hand 3 times, so I was like forced to develop a left. You know, we got to evolve.
It's like that Cinderella Man. You ever see that movie?
Yeah,
Just picking up all the hay with it, all the bales with that.
there
Great
you
movie.
go.
You know, so just I'll touch back on 281 real quick. You know, that's obviously a huge win in MSG.
Yeah.
How does that compare? How does a win like that compare to your first win against Jalen Turner? Like first win in the UFC.
That was a great one too, man. That was out in Atlanta.
Yep.
And we all were out there. You know, it was a great fight, but you know, I got the win, a unanimous decision. It was awesome. But there's no better feeling than finishing a fight.
Oh, for sure.
Than knocking a dude out or submitting someone, choking them out, and just having it be over. You know, decisions, even like, you know, the Jalen Turner fight, I beat him up all 3 rounds. You know, you get to the judges and you're like kind of like yeah, you know, I won that, but you know, let's see what those judges saw.
Yep.
With these MMA judges, which, you know, these MMA judges, they're not, some of them are not as good as you think, you know. So it is no better feeling than finishing a fight.
And, you know, you talk a lot about the judges. Do you feel like when the belt is on the line, they make it easy for the guy who already has the belt at times whenever it ends up in the judge's hands?
Yeah, there's definitely a thing in like boxing back in, they said, you know, to be the champ, you got to beat the champ.
Yep.
So in like a close championship fight, I get it, you give it to the champion, because, you know, you got to get the championship, you got to beat the champ. In a close fight, I guess I agree with that.
Okay. So now, you know, I talked about the 2-fight win streak. The first fight of that 2-fight win streak was UFC 270, right?
We're out in Cali.
Yep. And dude, that fight was, you knocked him down what, 5 or 6 times?
Yeah.
And, like, so would you, so that, I would say, would you consider that to be your best overall performance, you think?
That was just my, like, I think the craziest like fight that I've had. You know, the guy kept getting up, and I just remember keep knocking him down, and I'm like punching this guy, and being like, why won't you die? You know, and then he gets up again, and then I had to drop him again. He was real tough, man. But eventually we got the finish. That was definitely, I thought, one of my most exciting fights. You know, you dropped the guy, you know, 5 times in one round. Everyone's just going wild. It was that was a fun one.
Yeah, and that, I mean, obviously, like, I hate to talk about it, but that was coming off probably your toughest loss.
Oh,
yeah. Your lowest of lows, probably.
And coming, you know, 2021, I was 0-2.
Yep.
And then we come out 2022 and 2-0. You know,
that's it.
That's trusting the process, staying the course, and you know, never giving up. You know, everyone loses, everyone goes through setbacks, but you got to stay consistent. And that showed it. You know, I tell all these young fighters, you know, everybody loses. You got to take that loss and learn from it and stay consistent, stay the course, and keep going. And you know, it's nice to go out there and, you know, show these guys that I coach. You know, walk the walk.
Yep. So I'm happy you brought that up, the process, man. Like, I know you're, you know, a big trust the process guy. What is the process for you exactly?
Well, you know, I don't have a fight signed right now, but I'm eyeing April 8th. It's 12 weeks out, you know.
Okay.
I'm drinking water because I got training tomorrow at 10 a.m. You know, I just came from boxing. I'm starting to get this weight down, even though I didn't eat. I ate good all day, so I got to eat good right now.
Eat good right now, that's a fact.
I'm hungry. I'm ready.
Yeah,
ready
you
for that first course, baby.
What are you weighing in at now?
I'm waking up around like 182, 181.
Okay.
You know.
So you got that's a pretty tough weight cut. Huh?
Yeah, it's a process, man. But I'm thinking I'm gonna weigh myself Friday morning, and I will be 177. That's what I'm hoping. You know, I'm hoping like 177, 178, and you know, I tweaked the diet a little bit. You know, I cut out the, you know, I make it a little bit more clean. And I get to 175. Once I get under 175, I'm kind of coasting. Because I weigh in at 156 pounds on Friday. And then the next day when I fight, I'm 174 pounds usually.
That's insane.
And this last fight, I was the heaviest, actually. Like, I weighed in at like 155, and the next day I was 176. But usually I like to stay in between 175 and 170. Like 173 is my optimal weight. Okay. That's when I'm like, I feel fast, I feel strong, you know. And then that whole weight cut to 155 is a process, man, you know. But I got it down, you know, and it's trial and error. You know, I've had, through my amateur career, my pro career, I've had about like 25 fights. I cut weight for all those fights. So I got it down to a science.
That's awesome, man.
After we try these appetizers, I'm going to pick your brain on that.
Yeah, for sure.
You're listening to the Oven Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
What's up, guys? How are you?
What's up, Chef?
Doing good, Chef.
We have a Nashville hot fried chicken and waffle, spicy brine pickles, and some creamy coleslaw.
Talk to
That's
me.
what I'm talking about.
Talk to me.
This is the appetizer?
That's the appetizer.
All right, so now we got, what did Chef say? We got a Nashville hot chicken and waffle slider, spicy house brine pickles, creamy coleslaw. Yeah?
Oh man.
So everything that we do when we infuse all the food here, I run a brand called New York Pop Butter at NYPB. And, all the stuff that we infuse sauce, we infuse desserts, but the sauce is so easy because
Possibilities are endless.
endless, man. Made a nice little maple syrup here last night.
Nice.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
So, take us through that weight cut process. And what's
Right
it
after a
like
fat
to,
moving meal like that.
Yeah. What's it like? Like you said, you go from 156 to the next day being 173.
Yeah.
What's the feeling when you transform quickly like that?
Like right now, April 8th, I'm 12 weeks out. I got to start getting my weight down. So I'm going to start monitoring it, really, just stepping on it. But I'm like some guys like to step on the scale every day. Like my dad's over there steps on the scale every day, but like that shit fucks with me. I can't step on the scale every day.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm be like, listen, I'm gonna weigh myself Friday morning. And now, what we got Tuesday. I'm gonna have a nice meal tonight, but all week I'm gonna be training hard. I'm gonna be eating right. I'm gonna try to hit my number on Friday morning, 177.
177.
And that was a good week. And then next week, we dial it in a little bit more. Maybe not have that little snack that I had this week, or
No chicken and waffles.
no chicken and cannabis infused chicken and waffles.
You sure?
No, I earned this shit today. And I'm still hitting my number on Friday, but it starts way out. I have to start way out for me to really.
Frank.
I know. So spicy.
For me to make 155 pounds, but it's kind of as fast as I could get under 175. Once I get under 175, once I'm waking up at 174, 173, I'm like, all right, hell yeah, we're coasting. And then I try to do most of my camp at around 173, 174, like in between that window, because that's what I fight at.
Mm-hmm.
But and then when it gets to about like 3 weeks out, I bring it even down lower.
Okay.
Like 3 weeks out, I'll see like 169, 168, after training. And when I see that, like when I see 169, 168, I know that I'm like, all right, we're there. And then there's a whole weight cut process. So I'll start, once the fight week hits, I check in a fight week on Tuesday. And I start my water load. I'm drinking 2 gallons of water, just having my body crush water. I'm pissing every like 30 minutes I'm taking a piss.
You're just getting rid of salt at that point, right?
That's just making my body just like flush out, getting used to flushing. I'm also going to the sauna every night. I'm doing a hot tub every night, just getting my body used to dumping a week before the fight. And then when I get there on Tuesday, I usually check in to the UFC, hotel, and they check my weight, and I'm around like 168 usually with, water loaded, 2 gallons of water, which 2 gallons of water is like 16 pounds,
You said 16?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a gallon of water is like 8 pounds.
Oh,
Really?
my God.
Yeah.
Wow. I had no idea.
So I'm just crushing water, and I just keep sweating, and all week I rub like a sweet sweat on me, which opens my pores up. I do my fight week workouts where just drilling my game plan, hit some pads, whatnot, and then they now give us these sauna blankets.
I saw that.
Yeah, the
That's
sauna
crazy.
blankets are nice, man, because your head's out. You could lay it on like a bed. I could be laying on a bed with a pillow behind me with my head out. My whole body is just like, is like I'm in a sauna. I'm dumping, and I just dump water out, and we fucking do it.
Have both of you noticed, like over the last 2 months, 3 months or so, I don't know what happened with the algorithms, but I felt like every time I was on Instagram, I was seeing something about the sauna, and if you go in for 3 times a week, it's like reduce your risk of a cardiovascular event like 65%.
Yeah, it's good,
I don't know
yo.
what happened to my Instagram, but it was flooded with sauna. I don't know. But
Joe
I do try to go
Rogan
with-
says it's good.
Exactly.
So stick by that.
And then the ice baths too, yo.
Oh God, I used to hate the ice baths, man.
Yeah, those are good, man. I start doing the ice baths and like the cold plunges when my fight gets close.
Okay.
Like when I'm like 8 weeks out, 9 weeks out, like I'm like ready to start doing like ice baths and cold plunges. Like right now, hell no, hell no. Like I'm too soft, physically, mentally. Like I'm just like nah, I'm good.
I was
on
going to
that.
ask you, so it is a mental thing too.
It
when you get
is,
closer.
yo. When I'm in fight camp and I'm like training, like it trains my mind too. I'm like let's fucking go, you know. And I get in the cold, and I usually do about try to do 5 minutes in the ice bath.
It's a long time.
Yeah, I try to 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't think I can last for one.
We used to do those in school. It was like once I would get like my nuts in, oh my God, it was game over for me, dude. I was not a fan of that place.
I got to ask you, the Dana White incident with his wife. What's being said around the guys in the UFC, and what's everyone's thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on this?
Dude, it's not good, you know. There's no excuse for it, like he said, you know. And we'll see, you know. He came out and did his apology, and but there's really there's no excuse to put your hands on a female.
Right.
So, you know, we'll see if he faces repercussions, which, you know, he should.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I got to agree with you there. It's just, you know, MMA is a great sport. The UFC, I love watching it, but it just, you know, I know it's a violent sport, but I feel like there's always like a level of violence surrounding the sport.
Yeah,
when you go back to McGregor, Khabib, it's not a good look.
Yeah, it's fighting, but I like to, you know, we're all martial artists, and I think you got to look at the martial artist aspect of it, of like respect, discipline.
Definitely.
But, you know, and Dana's like promoting the slap league at the same time. It's not a good look, man. I can't even watch it. Like
The slap league?
yeah,
Do you see that one that was all over the social media today? The kid in, I don't remember where he's from another country. He got slapped and his whole face moved, like exploded
man,
this way.
like-
I'm like, for $5,000.
you could. I guess we're gonna probably start figuring out. Like you probably get fucked up doing that. Like
Oh, for sure.
I don't understand. Like you just put your hands down and let these guys slap you. I don't know.
Yeah, put your hands
not
behind your
not my
back.
cup of tea.
What do we got to do to set up a sparring match between you and Franco?
When you trying to come to the gym? You trying
Oh
to come
man,
tomorrow?
tomorrow? I don't know. What time?
Hey, I'll be there at like 1 to 4. We actually got a
shit.
class. I'll be there Thursday night. Whenever you want to come.
Thursday night, let's
You
go.
won't.
Come on,
Thursday night?
Thursday
Yeah,
night,
yeah.
set up right now. You
I would
can't
do
say no.
something. I can't say no on camera.
Let's go. You come. Let me know what time. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
If you're serious, I'm actually.
How late can we show up Thursday?
The class is at 6, and I'll probably be teaching it. And
Okay.
it's like there's a lot of green guys too, but I'll make sure to get you a good partner, and we'll do a little drilling, and then we spar.
All right.
And,
All right. Wow, I wasn't expecting that question to come out today.
yeah, but yeah, whenever you guys want, you guys come to the gym, and I'll train you. I'll hold some mitts for you. We'll fuck around and have some fun.
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you. I'm
Yeah,
going to give
yeah.
you a little tip against Franco, though. I don't know if you ever heard of hammer toes. So, you know how some guys do the stomp on the foot?
It's the
Okay.
second
You might break both his pinky toes if you do that.
Yeah.
Ronnie,
some
if you
foot
can pull up
stomp.
a picture of hammer toes.
I got some weird toes, man. They've been haunting me for my whole
Yeah,
life. But
you see that in the UFC fights when they foot stomp. and
Yeah.
just
oh,
stomp.
I would hate that. I would
Yeah.
I would hate to get into a fight, like train, as long as you guys are training for, and then you're just kicking my knees. Like,
it's-
dude, I trained 12 weeks to just get my knees kicked like
Those
this. I'd
those
be
foot
real
stomps
upset.
too. Like I've never done them, and I've had them done to me once, and as I'm sparring my boy Billy Q, and it's like we're sparring in the gym, and I'm like, dude, why are you stomping my foot right now? Like you can show it, but don't fucking stomp my foot. Like we didn't. I get it. Like when you're in a fight and money's on the line, then you can stop foot.
Right.
But we're sparring, bro.
So people
We're talking about practice.
People actually practice the foot
talking about
stomp. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, like Billy Q, when he's being an asshole.
we gotta get that guy on here too.
Billy's last fight was crazy, man.
Yeah, he had a sick fight. It was fun.
Performance of the night?
Yeah, he got a bonus.
Hell yeah.
That was a fun one to be in the corner for too, man.
And he's in your corner too, right?
Yeah. Me and him have been doing this now for 10 years together. Like, we were teammates down in Tampa when we were amateurs. Now we're both in the UFC, and we're always cross-training. You know, I'm always down in Tampa training with him. He's always up in New York training over here. We always link up in Vegas and and corner each other, you know.
It's awesome, man.
What's that like to be in someone's corner instead of out there in the octagon?
Oh man, it's like way more nervous, you know, because like when I'm fighting, you know, I know what I got to do. I'm going in there, I'm fighting, you know, I'm in control. But when I'm like cornering, it's like I'm training. I'm trying to. I could tell him what to do, but he's the one in there. You know, he's in there and got to do it. And especially for Billy Q, because he always gets his ass kicked in round 1. And I'm always like, "Come on, man! Like, you got this!" Like, but he always comes back and gets it back, which is why he's so fun to watch, and you know why he's getting big fights.
Good for him. Good for him. I wanted to ask you, I saw you posted today. I think you reposted something about Ngannou.
Yeah.
And what he was trying to go for in his contract talks, and I think benefits and reimbursement. What are your thoughts on the reimbursement and benefits in the UFC? I know I always hear a lot of issues about payouts, number one, and then just this lack of health insurance.
Yeah, man. Like, I loved what Francis was saying, and it's really disappointing that we're not going to get Francis and Jon Jones. You know, I think that's the fight that everybody wanted to see. But with Francis, I just heard him on Ariel, and what he was saying was he was okay with the money. He just like wanted 3 things. He wanted fighters to get sponsorships again, which was a big deal when Venom and Reebok took over. It kind of took away all the sponsorships for the fighters. And then he wanted health care for all the fighters, which would be awesome.
Makes sense.
It's crazy to me.
I'm a surveyor. I get health care.
Dude, it's insane. Like right now, I have to like just tally up all my injuries. Like I can't get. I always every fight camp I like collect all my injuries. Or like, all right, this hurts, and then just when I fight, I get insurance. So after I fight, as soon as you fight, you walk out, you see the doctor. And I tell the doctor all my injuries. Like this last fight, I knocked the guy out in like 2 minutes. And I walk in and I tell the doctor, I'm like, all right, well, you know, my right foot's fucked up, my left knee's fucked up, my right shoulder's fucked up. I might have broke this hand. I got my elbow hurts a lot too. I tell them all my injuries so I get my coverage. So it'd be nice to get like real coverage.
So when you leave the arena that night or that day, if you didn't mention it to the doctor right then and there, it's not covered?
They give you 30 days.
Okay.
They give you 30 days after the fight. So, and pretty much everybody knows that it's bullshit that we don't get it. So everybody kind of knows that they give you 30 days to kind of claim all your injuries for the coverage. Which, I mean, I'll give it to them. They did cover. You know, they gave me stem cells. So I got stem cells in my foot, my knee, my hand, and my elbow.
Where'd you have that done?
Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that feel? Something like that.
Dude, I mean, I kind of figured out how to do this shit without it, so I figured it can't hurt.
Yeah.
They just shot in all my injuries.
You brought up Jon Jones.
Yeah.
I've liked that guy for a long time. I find myself shaking my head when I hear another story about him a lot. What are your thoughts on him? Obviously, you already said you'd rather see Ngannou, Jones, but you're going to see Gane and Jones, right?
Yeah, which will still be
Should
interesting.
be a sick fight.
Yeah, you know, Jon Jones, he's not my GOAT. You know, I know you could say that Jon Jones, he's undefeated, never been beat, but if you have like any kind of PED stuff, I think you are taken out of that greatest of all time.
I agree.
So the whole picogram thing with Jon Jones, you know, And then he tried to say it was like dick pills, you know. He's taking gas station dick pills.
Which is like almost even worse. Like,
yeah, man. And then he's like saying, remember him on Rogan, and he's like saying that he used to get like blackout drunk like a weekend before every one of his fights because he was like, he wanted to have a built-in excuse if he lost. Yeah. I was like, man, like, what the fuck?
If that's true, that's some deep mental issues within himself.
And then all the stuff, you know, but, you know, he's been out of the limelight for a while. He hasn't fought for a while. Hopefully, you know, cleaned his shit up and figured his, and I'm all for it. Hopefully he comes back and does well, you know. But knowing Jon Jones, you know, he's probably gonna get some story of him like drunk driving or, you know, out partying or doing some shit. So,
it's sad. We feel it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, but I am very interested in the Jon Jones heavyweight experiment.
Oh yeah.
You know, see him at heavyweight's gonna be fun.
He's gonna be a moose at heavyweight.
Yeah, yo, he's got those genes. Like, what is it?
Yeah, his brothers.
Chandler Jones. Both his brothers are in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's like one of the, you know, best fighters in the world. It's going to be interesting to see how he does at heavyweight.
You're listening to the Oven Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, guys. Next course, we have a house-made braised beef ravioli, blackened ribeye, mushrooms, a pork demi cream, a little crispy spinach for garnish, and Parmesan.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Chef. Oh my God, this looks unbelievable. Braised short rib ravioli, blackened steak tidbits. What? Mushroom, spinach, and pork demi cream. That sounds right up my alley.
I gotta work on my food adjective vocabulary.
He made that sound so much like so good.
He did, yo. He did. So what's the infusion in this?
Oh, so we also infuse olive oil.
Oh, nice.
That he just puts right into his sauce. Any sauce he makes. Sometimes we take the sauce home and infuse it, but you want to do it right here, nice and fresh for you tonight.
Yeah, this is good.
So you're really enjoying the infusion and everything. I know you love the chicken and waffles too. Cannabis, what has it done for you in terms of recovery and mindset?
Yep.
I'll come back to you when you're done.
No, I heard Uncle Kenny.
I love cannabis. No, it honestly helps me out a lot. CBD helps me out a lot. I take CBD every night. Sonny's Wellness. I do like the droppers, and it puts me out. It helps me sleep, helps my recovery, and then, you know, at the end of a long day, some good training, my body hurts. I smoke my bowl, or I'll eat a little edible, and then I'll relax and get some good sleep. So, you know, I was never a drinker. I'm not a big drinker. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to drink, just like my dad doesn't know how to drink. Every time my dad drinks, he just crushes a bottle of Patron and then like smashes it somewhere.
That's your signature move?
So we don't drink, so
people don't forget.
So yeah, you know, I like cannabis because it's, you know, it's chilly.
When you first started, were you getting tested for it at first, or the UFC's been pretty lenient with that for a while now, right?
Yeah, they're always pretty cool about THC, but we have USADA, and USADA can show up and test me like at my house at like, you know, 6 a.m. whenever they want. I have to have my like whereabouts always available, but they don't test for THC, CBD. They really only test for like steroids and stuff.
Okay.
They don't test for like any recreational drugs when you're out of competition. But when you fight, you have to have USADA, and you also have an athletic commission. So the athletic commission is like kind of old school, and they can test you for like THC. So you got to be careful, you know. Even though USADA doesn't test, a lot of these commissions still do. But I always stop. I usually stop THC like I stop like 7-8 weeks out, just for my discipline, you know. Yeah. And it's you got to take breaks, you know.
Yeah, a little tea break, a little Thomas break every once in a while. Can't hurt you.
It's all about balance. I actually wanted to ask you about that too. You know, obviously, you're all about your sport, right? Your craft. And how do you balance everything else in life? I know, like, athletes, entrepreneurs, go-getters, sometimes they lack that balance. How do you keep the balance in your life?
This is what we bring you here for. Come on.
Yeah, you're right though. Balance is key. And how do I balance out like my training, man? You know, my family. You know, my wife. She keeps me grounded. You know, but I don't know. I'm just like I'm kind of in it. You know, I'm in it. I'm kind of balls deep at this point. And especially like now, but I'll take a break. That's it. Like I'll have my fight April 8th, and then I'll kind of take a step back and hopefully go on a nice vacation or something, and then I get back to it, because it's what I do. And there's really nothing else I would be rather doing.
Do you always throw in a vacation after a fight?
Oh yeah, I always try to go on a vacation, because like it's always like. After the California fight, me and my wife went to Vail, Colorado, and like I was so pumped about that. And then sometimes after one of the fight, I went to St. Martin. But the whole camp, I'm always just like, all right, no matter what happens, I'm be drinking a beer and in the sand in St. Martin after next week. So it kind of just puts my mind at ease and. And hard work pays off. I'm trying to go on vacation after all this.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You deserve it, man.
It's the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
You said you were you're balls deep at this point. It's a couple years into your fighting career now. What was like that moment when you were like, fuck man, this is gonna be my like bread and butter right now. This is gonna be my living.
When I really felt like I could do this for a living.
Yeah.
I was an amateur, and it was my 4th amateur fight. And my one teammate actually got hurt, and he was supposed to fight for the Costa Rican title, the amateur Costa Rican title, and he got hurt. And then my coaches offered me the fight, and I was like, hell yeah, But this guy was like 9-0, undefeated, like all knockouts. He was like the hometown like hero of like Cocoa Beach, Costa Rica, and I was like 3-0 at the time. I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go. They're gonna pay for my flight, they're gonna pay for my food, pay for my hotel. It was the first time I ever got anything out of fighting. When you're fighting as an amateur, you pretty much lose money per fight.
Which is crazy.
You gotta, I gotta like, and so once I went out there, and it was a crazy fight too. We fought in a bullfighting arena in Cocoa Beach, Costa Rica.
Wow. Like outdoors?
Yeah, it was outside, and it was in a ring, and it was the first time I fought in a ring as well. I had my uncles down there, my dad was down there, my cousins, my brothers, and we had a great time, and it was, I remember it was outside, like the first round, this dude comes out, he just rocks me, like he was like a really good striker, and at the time I was like a wrestler, and then it started raining on us while we were fighting.
Wow.
So it got like super slippery. So I just took him down like right away, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like the gods were like looking out for me. and then it was like so slippery the rest of the fight that like round 2 came out, like, and I took him down right away so easily because the mat was so slippery. And then I ended up just like beating the piss out of him on the ground and armbarring him and winning the Costa Rica title.
That was a title fight.
Yeah, it was a title fight, and once I won that title, I was like, I think I could do this.
This is for me.
Yeah, and we
Did you come? So you came back here after that fight, and
yep.
Was that right to Cerro Longo or?
I was down in Tampa, so
okay.
I was going to school. I was still going to college and just fighting amateur. But when I won that title, I was like, I can do this.
What an experience! That sounds amazing.
Yeah. They love us in Costa Rica.
So
I hope you didn't break any tequila bottles over there.
No.
All right.
they wouldn't like that too much. So I mean, we haven't talked about the team yet. All Long Island guys. We're Long Island guys too. So we love having guys like you. Come down and really talk about like what it's all about. And we've heard about Ray Longo forever. We're Levittown guys, so we have guys they've been out there forever. John Volante went to MacArthur with us, so we've heard that name for a while.
Volante's such a ball buster. I love it.
Yep, that's.
He's coaching football now too, right?
I want to say he's coaching at like a rival Massapequa. We were MacArthur kids. Man.
Really? He's got to be such an awesome football coach. I would love to have him.
He's a character, man.
My favorite thing about Volante is whenever we would train at Sarah's, in the locker room, like there's like benches and stuff, and like there's lockers and stuff, and people would put their bags on the benches. And if he saw somebody's like bag on a bench and he walked in to like sit down, he'd literally just throw it, and he would just throw people's bags off the benches. And I was like, I respect that. Like, I'm trying to sit down too. Put your fucking bag in somewhere else.
And he's a big dude too, walking around tossing bags like that.
Yeah, Volante is a man.
But is he still around like that? Is he still around the gym at all?
He's not fighting anymore. But he did actually come in and spar one of our. We got a real good amateur heavyweight, Mike. I think he's got like maybe 3 fights, and Volante came in and sparred with him, which was nice. Which was cool. And we got a lot of young killers.
Yeah, I was gonna ask who else we got to look out for, man.
Dude, well, next up is my boy Nazim, the Black Wolf, Sodikov. I cornered him for his Contender Series fight, and he had an awesome knockout, man. He had a sick knockout, got signed by Dana that night, and now he's making his UFC debut February 18th in Vegas. And I'm going out there to corner him for that one too, so I'm pumped.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Good luck.
Yeah, man, he's looking good, dude. I'm like sparring him a lot too, so it's good. That's the whole team. It's iron sharpens iron. We got so many good guys in the gym, and everybody just feeds off each other.
Yeah, I mean that's what you need, obviously. But and you guys, you got guys like Billy Q that you're in his corner, he's in your corner.
Yep.
His we touched on his last fight a little bit. against who was Alexander Hernandez.
Yeah.
I mean that's a tough fight, man. He's been around for a while doing it.
Oh yeah, and Billy just classic Billy Q'd him. He squinted him up, took the guy's best punches in round 1, and then finishes him in round 2. Drowns him.
What's the overall what's that gym like? Going in and getting to hang out with all these guys. That's like a brothership at this point, right? It's a real team.
Oh yeah, man. Longo's is a fighter's gym. It's got everything. It's got jiu-jitsu. It's got wrestling. It's got kickboxing. But you could just tell, you could smell it. You walk into Law MMA, you could just smell the grit and the sweat and the hard work. It's a real fighter's gym, it breeds champions. Longo's been pumping out champions for years now, and what coach says, I do. That's what I say. You say, I do, coach.
That's it.
You wanted me to work that boxing? We got 2 knockouts.
That's it. Come on. So, what was he's going to fight on February. What's his name again?
February 18th, Nazim Sodikov, called Naz.
Naz? All right, cool.
Naz is a beast.
And you said, Dana White's Contender Series. That's right where you're from too, huh?
Yeah. I was on the first season of Dana White Contender Series.
How was that, man? I know you had Snoop Dogg in the corner, back there, everything.
Snoop Dogg was commentating my fight, so that's always a good like Easter egg. I get to go back and listen to him. And then my dad over there got to smoke a blunt with Snoop Dogg somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was.
Where the hell were you for that?
Dude, I was on my natural high of achieving a lifelong goal.
Yeah.
And getting. And then my brother and my dad end up in Snoop Dogg's trailer, smoking a celebration blunt with him.
Dude, your brother's a character, man.
Yeah, man.
You were telling us about what was it? Was it your bachelor party or his bachelor party?
Yeah, we made it my bachelor party, and he fought in Rough and Rowdy Barstool.
And he dropped the guy too, right?
Yeah, man. He knocked the dude out in the first round.
That's great, man.
It's in the genes. It's in the
it was in the blood. It's in the blood.
That bachelor party must have been nuts after that.
Yeah, we had like a huge RV and like a couple cars. I want to say there must have been like almost like 20 of us. Like we were rolling deep, like at least like 16, 17 of us.
So he had a crew.
Yeah, and we drove out to West Virginia, and we actually got super lucky with the house. We got the Airbnb, and we got the goat house. It was like a goat farm. It was this huge mansion on like a goat farm. And
Sounds amazing.
And I remember like I'm the one who's like doing it, and I'm talking to these people, and they're like, don't worry if the goats get out. Like they'll just wander around. And I'm like, okay. So then we get there, and like these goats are just running around everywhere. And they come up to the door, and and even like at night, like the first night we go out to the bars or whatnot, and then we come back, and just like the front door is just like guarded by like these huge goats. And like we just walk right in, we open the door, the goats are like walking in the house, so we called the goat house. That was fun. But yeah, we had a great time in West Virginia, and you know, I trained my brother to make sure that he was fucking there to win. You know, we didn't go to West Virginia for him to get his ass kicked.
Oh, no way.
So like I made sure like I put him through like a whole fight camp. Like I trained him up, and I remember at my house, right in my front yard, like I set up like a little boxing ring with like garbage cans and like rope. And I invited all our buddies over, and I lined up my buddies to spar them. I would put like,
oh my God.
like every minute, I would like this guy, he'd spar my buddy for a minute, and then he'd spar my next buddy for a minute. And as soon as he like started doing real good though, like I'd tag him out and just go in there and make sure
touch him up
just,
a little.
Yeah, touch him up and make sure he
Reality
can take a punch. But he trained hard, and you know, he went out there and he knocked out the Bassmaster in West Virginia.
What was his name, the Bassmaster?
The guy was the Bassmaster. So yeah, we went paintballing too. It was a fun bachelor party. Definitely, I'm happy my brother won for sure. Bachelor party would have probably taken a dive if he lost.
Oh, he would have never lived that down if he lost that. Speaking, on the topic of your brother, man, how cool is it just having your twin brother in your corner?
Yeah, it's been good. You know, he has been trying to get in the corner for a while. You know, and I'm always like, no, But the opportunity came in California. Longo couldn't make it. Longo got sick, and I was like, all right, Jimmy. Well, I gave my dad the call first, but he got traumatized from when he cornered me at my first MSG fight. It was such a crazy fight. It was the one that was a draw against Lando. My dad was in the corner for that one, and he said it was too much. It was too intense. He couldn't deal with it. So Jimmy got the call in January, and we got a big knockout. And he's been helping me out a lot with my social media and whatnot. And he got the call for MSG as well. And we're 2-0 with my brother in the corner. So
Hey, bro,
I think he's staying.
Keep it rolling.
I think he's staying.
He earned that.
If it ain't broke, don't fix
That's
it.
it.
Yeah.
Man, I was actually watching something today. I had no idea he was a rapper back in the day, quote unquote rapper. I don't know that song.
SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah, well, your cousin Tommy too. Have you ever heard his?
No, I gotta hear some of his beats.
Yo, what was it? The City Life the T-Pain app.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, we used to come home from the bar and just play that.
You got the vocals?
Yeah, the T-Pain. They don't make that app anymore though, so we can't find his songs anywhere. Him and Smitty, his friend Smitty.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I met him.
Them two just dropping bars at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, my brother thought he was a rapper as well.
He did predict you fighting in the UFC though.
He did. That was probably when I had like one amateur fight, and he knew.
That's pretty cool. So before you were in the in the UFC, did you go to any fights like before you were like fighting even amateur, like any like UFC fights?
Yeah, the first UFC fight I went to was with my dad and my uncle Dolzy in Boston. It was the McGregor versus Dennis Seaver fight.
Okay.
And that was the first UFC fight I ever been to, and I remember, going there and just seeing the atmosphere that McGregor fans bring, on his come up, the ole, ole, ole. And I was like, yo, I need to fight here. And that kind of, it was definitely a big motivating, thing for me to see an awesome, UFC Boston card. And then now we're there. So
Yep, that's it,
crazy.
man.
What kind of guy is McGregor behind the scenes?
I met him in Abu Dhabi, and he was cool, man. When I met him in Abu Dhabi, he was humble. He had such a thick Irish accent that I could almost like not understand him. It was kind of funny, but yeah, we kind of small talked a little, and got a picture with him. He was cool, and we'll see. But it's like anyone, he's got some crazy side to him too, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I'm excited to see that Roadhouse movie that he's going to be in.
Yeah, I saw that.
just looking juiced to the gills.
Oh, he's pretty big now, huh?
Yeah, man, that's crazy. You hear about all that? Like so Conor McGregor got he left the USADA testing pool just to do this movie. So pretty much he's left to do steroids and get jacked for this movie. And now they're going to let him back into the testing pool and just give him 6 months and then he can fight. It's such a loophole.
Yeah,
So anybody could just leave the testing pool and juice, and then you just have to wait 6 months and then you could fight. It's definitely weird.
I feel like a lot of people wait that long anyway.
Yeah, a lot of people could get hurt and then say, all right, I'm going to, leave the testing pool. I don't want to fight for a while and just do a cycle, but... they're always going to find ways to cheat.
Always.
So how many guys would you think are getting away, even that are getting tested? How many guys do you think are using these performance-enhancing drugs?
I mean, what did Nate Diaz used to say? They're all on steroids, right? But Nate Diaz is also kind of retarded.
Yeah. You ready for dessert?
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
I'm ready
You wanna do
for
some dessert?
You're listening to the Oven Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
I really want to just talk about Fight Island, just because obviously COVID was crazy, and we were it was crazy for you obviously because you're fighting, but for us as spectators, we were sitting there, there's nothing to watch, there's no games to watch. We're betting on MLB games on Skype that are or not on Skype. What is it? Twitch. That's automatic games. That's and then when we finally got the UFC in Fight Island, you were supposed to fight Ottman.
Yeah, man, that was a crazy time. You think back at it, that as soon as they came out of that Dana White bought an island, they're gonna go back and be putting fights on. Only sports going on.
It
I was
sick though.
Dude, I was hell yeah, I was I'm trying to go to Fight Island.
Think about how many more fans the sport probably got just from that.
Oh yeah, man, I looked at it as Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, right.
And so I was so pumped when I got the fight on Fight Island, and but it was honestly the craziest just weeks of fights. So I got COVID 2.5 weeks before that fight.
Wow.
I had COVID and I remember I was freaking out. I was fuck, they're gonna cancel my fight, whatever, and then. So there was some loophole they gave us through that, since it was 12 days, because I got tested again and I was negative, and I was listen, I'm negative, I'm this, and then they were saying something. They let me fight, they let me fight. I was
That's all that matters.
I was thank God, but just going through that, and then we go to Vegas. They flew us out to Vegas and they quarantined us in Vegas for 3 or 4 nights in a random hotel, and it's this small hotel, and all these fighters are quarantined, getting ready to go to Abu Dhabi Fight Island. Everyone's hitting pads in the parking lot, just running laps around, trying to find somewhere to work out because everyone's got to lose weight and prepare to the fight. And then they flew us out to Abu Dhabi, which was actually an awesome experience. They gave us, that was my first business class experience.
It's a long flight.
Wow.
Yeah, it was long, but in business class, man,
yeah, you're chilling.
I reclined that into a bed, and I was chilling.
Yeah, you're hanging.
I got
was
upgraded
nice.
to first class one time, but it was a flight from New York to South Carolina.
Yeah, it
so
doesn't even count.
You enjoyed
by
it.
the time we got up, we got down.
Yeah, that business class is the way to go. But and then once we got to Abu Dhabi, they brought us up on the bus like to the hotel. People are in like hazmat suits and stuff, but they're also like getting hype, like clearing, like clapping for us and shit.
So it was like a scene from Monsters Inc. or something.
Yeah, it was, yo. It was really. And then they quarantined us in our hotel rooms for an entire day.
Oh,
That was pretty crazy. And then after that, they let us like walk around the hotel. It was like the W Hotel in Abu Dhabi, and they had like a Formula One racetrack. Like so, cars were going around all day, and that's when I got to meet McGregor and all that stuff. And then I was supposed to fight Ottman, on the main card of that fight night. Then he got caught like trying to smuggle a bag into his room, like.
didn't they say it was like a bag of potatoes or something like that?
Well, the whole joke was like his manager was just saying, "Oh no, it was potatoes. It was potato." Oh yeah, so you're gonna get cut from the UFC for trying to smuggle a bag of potatoes in. But it all worked out. Ottman. I didn't get to fight Ottman that night, but we got to fight him at MSG. So
So that counts, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Put that to rest.
Yep.
All right, guys, last course. We have a mixed berry cobbler. We infused it with some of the caramel, chocolate sauce. We made a homemade oat topping, whipped cream, and vanilla.
Oh yeah, thank
Enjoy,
you,
guys.
chef.
Thank you, chef.
This meal has been on
Homemade.
point.
Oh, Harry just picks it up and puts them down, man. That's what he does.
Let's see.
What's the infusion in this one?
Holy shit. We got New York Popular infused caramel sauce and infused chocolate syrup.
Nice.
I told you, man, it's the endless possibilities with this. You gotta let me know when your birthday is and make you a nice fat cake.
June 11th.
June 11th. I remember that.
Why don't you let the fans know a little bit about Fred Fest?
Oh yeah.
From first-hand experience.
So
It's all time.
I live like right on the water of the North Shore of Huntington, and it's like such a beautiful house right on the water. It's like the perfect like summer house, just being on a boat, jet skis, and in the water. So every summer we gotta throw a party. It's a perfect summer house. I feel like it's selfish for us not to throw a huge party to be able to share it with everyone, right, Tommy?
Oh man.
I agree.
So you're gonna have such a good spot in the summertime. You gotta have a huge party. So it just, it started as like a birthday party, and then like our graduation. When we graduated like from high school, we had a huge party, and then just every summer we kept having a huge party, and I think it went on for like 15 years, and then COVID happened, so we kind of kept it low key. But it's about, and now we're all like 30, so we might be a little bit more mature, but
Maybe.
No, I don't know about that.
but this summer it's going down.
You heard it here first. Back after COVID. First one since COVID.
Got to make up for the lost years.
That's it.
Yep, I need to get a fight. Like I'll fight April, May, June. Maybe I'll actually, yeah.
Like an August Fred Fest.
If I could get like a fight in April 8th, and then maybe June, July, like end of July, and then we do like an August one. That'd be.
Just an August rager.
Count me in.
So yeah, it's always a good time, bro. We had like Marab and Aljo there the last one too. Quinto was getting it after it. Yeah, Al threw like a 36 pack on in the rowboat and just fucking like rowed out in the middle of the bay.
Just found himself a little bit.
He's a Wonto guy. I've seen him at the Wonto bars.
Yeah,
The Irish poet one time.
Yeah, it's
He's
cool.
always at
that-
Long Beach.
Yeah, Long Beach. It's cool that all you guys are like, relatively local dudes too.
Yeah, man, it's really crazy when you think about it. You look at champions from all over the world. Russia's got like one champion. China has got one champion. Europe has got this many champions. And then you look at Long Island, like little Long Island. we've got 3 world champions
Which is
from
crazy.
Long Island. Like, I'm telling you, we're some tough motherfuckers.
Yeah. And like a lot of these guys, like born and raised too, right? Like
Yeah.
these champs?
Yeah, homegrown. And we're, Matt Serra, Chris Weidman, Aljamain Sterling.
Bless.
So, and I'm going to be next.
That's it. That's a fact. Man, I remember sitting down. Do you remember like where the old gym was? This had to be 10 years ago. It was around like Hempstead Turnpike.
Yeah.
So I remember sitting down. It was right after Matt Serra beat GSP. And I was sitting down getting my haircut at the barber's lounge. And he was getting his haircut next to me. And I was like a little fanboy, like hearing like what he was talking about, like about how he beat GSP. And he's on the phone with somebody. He's like, yeah, get me 2 home wreckers from Moe's. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? 2 home wreckers for you? You're nuts.
Yeah, Serra's the man, dude.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
And you look at it also like Matt Serra, biggest upsetting GSP. And then Chris Weidman, like fucking upsetting Anderson Silva.
Yep.
And then even you look at the way at Iaquinta fought Khabib.
Dude, that was a great fight.
Oh, he fought that dude. And
That was on short notice, right?
Yeah, like a couple days notice. I remember I was sparring Iaquinta that whole camp. Al was supposed to fight Paul Felder for that fight. Paul Felder's a kickboxer.
Yeah, another tough fight, though.
Yeah, and Al had a bum knee, so I wasn't wrestling him at all. We were only doing kickboxing sparring. And then in a day's notice, he gets switched to Khabib, who's just going to wrestle him the whole time. And Al still fought him fucking really well.
That went the distance, no?
Mm-hmm.
I thought so. We're kind of hitting, we're at dessert now. We're kind of hitting the end. I have a couple like random questions I want to throw at you. Like I'm interested. Like who do you think is like the hardest hitter that you've faced,
That I faced?
or that like that like what people have said?
Man, I think that everybody hits hard.
Okay.
Like everybody hits hard. Like, you're a strong guy. You could hit hard, but it's
No,
about
he's not. No, he's not.
He said it.
it's about timing, and speed and placement and accuracy.
Okay.
If you have the right timing, and you have the right accuracy, anybody's strong enough or hits hard enough to knock somebody out.
Placement.
Yeah, and but I hit fucking hard.
I'm hoping someone at the gym knocks him out on Thursday.
Yeah, we gotta put this Thursday in the calendar, man. Yeah. No, but it's funny, like you're talking about just guys coming up and like everyone hits hard. Jake Paul signed into the PFL.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I saw you comment something about Shane Burgos fighting him. Oh my God, obviously they can't hand him that just yet, but
yeah, and Jake's got to be like a 185er. I think most of his boxing fights he weighs in like 190. But we'll see. I think I saw something today that Jake Paul, Tommy Fury is going to be February.
that's an interesting fight. Finally,
Who wins?
Yeah. I mean, probably Jake Paul. I don't before all these fights. I thought Tommy Fury was a legit boxer, but I don't know enough about it. I'm starting to think that he might just be like a scammer. Mm-hmm. But we'll see.
scammer with a good last name.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Just kind of goes off that last name and isn't he like does like reality shows or whatever?
Yeah,
Who knows, man? Hopefully he shows up and has a good fight with Jake.
Yeah.
Maybe he could beat him.
What do you think about all this talk that like all the Jake Paul fights were rigged?
Dude, I feel like it's got to be so hard to rig a fight. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like, I don't think it was rigged.
Okay.
And like, yeah, no, I don't think it was rigged.
One last thing I got, I saw something about, you're tapping in with Full Send, with the Full Send guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
I've been watching the guy Steve will do it since I'm in college, I think. Watching him just chug full bottles of tequila.
The OG is the Full Send MMA guy, and I kind of linked up with him, and I invited him over to the gym, and he did an interview and did like a cool little promo in his vlog, him training at the gym. I brought some Happy Dads, and like in between rounds, I was just crushing Happy. and yeah, you know, those Nelk boys are funny, man. Like Kyle and those guys, they got funny ass videos. But I remember, you know, after this MSG fight, the OG guy comes up to me. He's like, "Yo, like Kyle just texted me about your fight." So I mean, we're on the radar.
Hell yeah.
So hopefully we can team up with Full Send. You know, Barstool's going out there getting fighters signed. So why not? You know, Full Send can sign some fighters.
Definitely.
And I'd like a little Full Send versus Barstool when I beat up Patty the Batty eventually.
Little Full Send versus Barstool.
Love to see that.
Yeah,
I'm there for that.
After my fight at MSG, I remember like going cage side and seeing Portnoy and Big Cat like cage side and Theo Von cage side, and I was like, I'm coming for your boy, bro. I'm coming for your boy. And he was like going like that.
I love that. That's why Theo's actually the man. I love his podcast.
Yeah, he is the man.
If you weren't fighting, what would you be doing?
Man, I don't know. I'd probably be working for him.
You know, before we, wrap this up over here, we talked about some of your teammates. You know, do you have any other teammates with fights coming up that we should be looking out for, or?
Yeah, there's a Ring of Combat in Atlantic City. I think it's March 4th, March 5th. And the Ring of Combat is like a entry-level professional organization. Like you kind of build your record up in the Ring of Combat to get signed to the UFC. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a bunch of guys on that Ring of Combat. But everybody in the gym right now is training, is grinding for fights in like March and April. So it's like a great atmosphere right now at the gym.
Yeah.
So. Keep an eye out, and if you guys are trying to come to AC in March, you guys got to come to AC for one of these Ring of Combats.
Let's
Go
go
with that.
Yeah, we have fun.
That'll be a great time. Yeah, AC. I'm in for AC.
I'm not certain.
Tommy's in for AC.
Well, that's the only that's the only way I'll go to AC is for these fights. Like I think the fights are usually on Fridays. Like we just drive Friday afternoon, stay for the fights, and then spend the night and drive back as early as possible Saturday morning.
Just get the hell
like
out
I
of
can do
AC.
one night in AC though.
No,
You can't stay too long.
and don't stay on the boardwalk either. You gotta stay like Borgata or Oceans or something like that.
Yeah,
Borgata is my favorite.
Actually, the Hard Rock there is now real nice.
Hard Rock
too.
is nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually met Charlie the Cannibal.
Yeah, Charlie.
He's with you guys, right?
Yep.
He's a
Charlie's
good dude.
a beast, man. He's a good dude.
He's been hurt, right?
Yeah, he's coming back.
We met him at a Jiu Jitsu event. We do a bunch of the LIJJN network.
Yeah.
They do a bunch of the breweries around here, and we're pretty heavy with them. Those guys, man.
Nice.
They love gummies and pre-rolls, and I've never seen anything like it. But
Yeah, that's definitely one thing. The jiu-jitsu community and like weed goes like hand in hand.
they love it.
One of the best events I went to, I should probably hook you guys up with them. It's called High Rollers.
Okay.
And they're out in Vegas. They're like based out in Vegas, and they do jiu-jitsu competitions. And it's like everybody just like smokes a lot of weed, and then they do a competition. Like how they started it, the referee would have like a joint. He'd hit it, he'd give it to that guy. That guy would hit it. He'd give it to the other guy. That guy would hit it, and then they just like slap hands and do jiu-jitsu.
Finish him.
It's
That's funny, man.
yeah, man. It's definitely a cool concept they got. So I competed in one of their things, and they had like this like leaf blower thing that they put weed in, and it was just like blasting smoke out, and they just like blasted in people's like faces in between matches.
How did your matches go over there?
Oh, it was good, man. I had a nice darce. I choked the first dude. And then the next match, I got armbarred by a Brazilian. I think I was too high.
Just to wrap up, I know you're a big social media guy. Obviously in the last year or so, we've been building up a lot, and it looks like you interact with a lot of your fans, man, which is awesome.
Yeah, man. In the end of the day, I'm a man of the people. I'm just a fucking normal dude. So. I like to connect with people. My brother has been telling me to get on the Twitter for so long. I finally got on the Twitter, and now I'm being able to link with like fans and just people who they like what I do. They like how I fight, So, you know, you support me, I support you, and I appreciate it. So, man of the people.
That's it. Man of the people. You heard it here first. Well, hey, Maddie, thank you, man.
Thank you,
I think,
guys.
I think Via's got a question.
Oh yeah, right. Hold on. We do one section where the behind the camera gets to ask one question. We don't know what it is. So, you ready?
All right, starting with you. If you could have your own strain, what would you call it?
My own strain, I mean, it's got to be like Steamrolla OG, right?
That's perfect. Did you call it? He called that?
Gotta be Steamrolla
Steamroll.
OG.
We might have to make that a thing, dude.
Dude,
The Steamrolla OG. We
that
can make
sounds
that
fire.
Hit up the plug.
going. Man, I might just have to go on my Instagram name, the Franco Sphere.
I gotta go. I mean,
Franco's Fear?
Yeah, the Franco Sphere. Been up there for a while. Anytime you need me, just look up.
All right.
I hate when he says that. I can't.
I was waiting for his reaction, but yours was
cringe
better.
every time. Or when he goes, not low.
Not low.
No, I mean the fact that Via called me Blues when she texted me before, my strain would be Blueberry Jones for sure.
Nice.
That's an easy one right there. Well, seriously, man, thank you for taking the time out of your schedule. You're coming right after a boxing, whatever boxing fight. And,
Dude, that meal was amazing.
yeah, I was gonna say, you had a good meal here.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Let's do this again next Tuesday.
100%. No, man, you can come in any Tuesday you want. Just a big special thanks to Chef Harry Poole and Jackson's and Comac again, and one more huge thank you to you and Uncle Kenny for bringing you out, and really
you guys.
Uncle and cousin Tommy. Tommy's been my boy for a while, so he made this possible, and looking forward to doing this shit again, man.
Yeah, good stuff, guys.
Best of luck to you.
Yeah. We'll be going to the Barclays Center soon.
That's a
We're going to
fact.
take over the Barclays Center.
We want to thank Chef Harry Poole and his team over at Jackson's Restaurant in Comac, New York, for another amazing infused meal. Make sure you check out our YouTube page, click the subscribe button, and join us next time, because there's always an open seat for you at the oven.